system. How you doing?
Getting beat up by 9 guys in Syracuse, to me, there's not a whole lot of shame in.
This is the Heel to the Face podcast with your hosts, Jared Wicks and Brandon Icebreaker Clements. Tweet us using the handle at Heel to the Face.
Woo! 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 Woo!
The bell is rung, so let's step in the ring with your hosts, Brandon and Jared.
This is the Heel to the Face podcast coming off of Crown Jewel, Raw, and SmackDown this week leading up to the Survivor Series, which, kind of crazy enough, is in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I didn't realize that I saw on Raw they said a week from Sunday. I was like, oh, really?
Oh, yeah, a lot of stuff
Time
going
is
on the last.
absolutely flying.
Before you know it, Royal Rumble will be here, too.
Yeah, I mean, WrestleMania tickets go on sale next week.
Are you buying?
I will be eventually. I don't know about next week, but I will be getting WrestleMania tickets, as always.
I was going to say, you've been going the last, what, how many years?
3 years in a row.
Yeah.
4 of 6.
That's a good track record.
So we'll be 5 of 7 after this year, after next year.
That's pretty
That's
pretty good.
Icebreaker21. Follow him on Twitter at Icebreaker21. Myself at KRock Jared. Simple enough. At KRock with a J, and then mine will come up. So even if you don't know how to spell Jared, that's fine enough. But most importantly, follow the program at Heel to the Face. That's where you'll find us on Twitter. The links to this show, the links to our podcast, the links to the YouTube, all the stuff you need to know when we put up a Twitter question of the week. That's where you find it. So without further ado, let's get this week's edition of the show underway.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening
With a 20-minute time limit.
So Crown Jewel this past Friday, Hulk Hogan made his return to WWE as the host. What that means is they just wanted to come out and say, hey.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's, he does his typical shtick,
I don't know
You
what that
know,
means.
brother,
Host.
you know.
At least as a host, don't you come out more than once? He did not. But
No, he
when
just came out. He came out up front in the beginning and then did his brother. That's pretty much all
So
he did.
Hulk Hogan most likely going to be a part somehow, some way of WrestleMania next year. That he's back in WWE. So WrestleMania next year is going to look a lot different than we thought it was a year ago.
Well, let me ask
because
you
Brock
this.
Lesnar is now going to be a part of WrestleMania now this upcoming year as well.
With Hulk Hogan, let me ask you this. With Hulk Hogan, what are your thoughts on him between now and WrestleMania? What do you think they're going to do with him?
Nothing.
You think he's just...
I think he might be, I don't know, a host again or something, general manager for the night of like Raw.
But like he'll be like a guest for the night.
Yeah, maybe he'll be any anniversary episodes coming up. Maybe at Royal Rumble or something, or a pay-per-view. They'll have a cutting edge Miz TV.
Bring him back. Nostalgic. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't feel even at WrestleMania like no match or anything like that. But I feel at WrestleMania we might have what we had at WrestleMania 30. Rock, Stone Cold, all in the ring same time kind of thing.
That'd be kind of cool.
That kind of nonsense.
I don't mind that. That's cool.
Wasn't he?
I
Was
like
he
the
the host of
nostalgia.
WrestleMania 30?
Oh,
Because he came out originally before Rock and Stone Cold came out.
That's a good question. I can't remember.
Because he came out originally, called it the Silver Dome.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I remember that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was...
So I think he was a host, and I think, at WrestleMania 35, that's most likely all he'll be. Brock Lesnar, most likely at WrestleMania 35, going to be champion of WWE. He just signed another deal. He signed it
Awful.
following Roman Reigns' diagnosis. It's signed so that he can compete in UFC during the time being. In fact, kind of...
How does he get the contracts like that?
well, Roman Reigns had what happened
good
to
for
him, and bam.
Yeah, but come on, Brock. Brock's going to show up 3 times between now and WrestleMania?
Probably.
That's what ticks me off about wrestling nowadays. Like I hope when Roman Reigns gets back and kicks leukemia in the ass as quick as possible. I want him back in the ring because Brock Lesnar is champion. Yes, it's good from a marketing PR perspective, but wrestling fans don't want him as champion. I don't think they do.
I do.
I don't. I like guys like AJ Styles.
You know why I like him as champion? Here's why. Because he's going to take this belt into the UFC, and I think that's awesome.
And he's going to get his butt kicked. Cormier is going to kick the crap out of him.
Here's a question.
I'm just saying.
Twitter question of the week that we didn't put up. Did you see what Daniel Cormier said?
Yeah, I think he said bring the championship belt or something. Bring the WWE belt with him or something.
He wants to be WWE champion too.
Yeah, I did
Now,
see something along those lines.
That wouldn't do anything essentially for Dana White. Because essentially that might hurt Dana White. Because if you put the WWF championship on the line in UFC, all of a sudden people are going to start to question your legitimacy, and that's the thing that UFC always has is legitimacy.
Yes.
So they don't want to get too far into the entertainment realm because then you're going to lose the people who think that it's a legitimate sport. That's what UFC has that WWF doesn't have, is that it's a legitimate sport. So the question is, would you like to see that? Vince McMahon, I think, would be great.
Well, yeah,
I think it'd be
it's-
worth the money to Daniel Cormier to legitimately put the belt on the line in their next fight.
I think that would be great. I don't think Dana's going to, though. I don't think Dana. Vince, I'm sure Vince is probably like,
I think
let's do
Vince
it.
should pay him to do it. I think Vince should hand over some money and say, listen, this match is champion versus champion. And then he will, meaning if Daniel Cormier wins a match in a legit UFC fight, that we will have him appear on WWE TV defending the belt, most likely losing it right away or something like that, but defending that belt.
Well, let's be honest. here.
Being the champion. Even if he shows up on Raw at the Monday night after the UFC fight and just relinquishes the belt.
That's what I could see him doing. I don't see him losing. Cormier, I don't like Cormier. I'm not a fan of DC and whatsoever. But Cormier's not going to lose. He'll just drop the belt. He'll just say, here you go.
But here's the thing. WrestleMania 35, April, Brock Lesnar, Daniel Cormier, Octagon, UFC/WWE presents WrestleMania 35. You split the profits.
I think Vince would definitely do it.
Yes.
Vince, you don't have to convince Vince that. I think Vince is on board. Dana.
What about like a mixed show? Maybe like 6 UFC fights, 6 WWE matches.
How awesome would that be? I mean,
the main event: Brock Lesnar versus Daniel Cormier, champion versus champion.
that would be a good man.
In
Vince,
a legit fight, the first time in the history of professional wrestling, or at least WWE. Probably
But
not in history,
here's how Dana's
that
gonna
the
look at it.
championship would be on the line in a legitimate contest.
the first staged UFC event too.
That's why
That's the drawback.
That's why this won't happen because Dana White's got a lot to lose.
Dana
He's got
has
a reputation to lose.
Dana has way more to lose than Vince. Vince would be like,
Vince
yeah,
has nothing to
let's
lose.
do it. I'm in.
Yeah. Dana would have a lot to lose because all of a sudden he would be roped right in there with Vince McMahon as a carny, as not taking things legitimately.
That is a good that would be a good event.
I mean, I think everybody who believes that it's a real fight, and more importantly, everyone who likes UFC and WWE would love it. I think the critics, though, again, would look at it and go, "Oh, they're just like WWE."
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, after Cormier's fight this past weekend, that was awful. By the way, I'm one of those guys. I know I get a lot of flack for it because I do like UFC. I like the mixed martial arts.
That Saturday's card was pretty good. If you watched it,
I watched the whole thing.
yeah,
I watched the whole thing, and there were some good fights. I didn't like the Cormier fight because it was like, I'm not a fan of the ground and pound. That's just how I am. I know that's part of the mixed martial arts. It's what you're able to do. It's one of the different disciplines. I get it. I wanted to see Cormier in what the heck's his name? Derek Lewis.
Uh-huh.
I just want to see those two big dudes just start dropping bombs and just start throwing fists. Because when that was happening, Daniel Cormier was going to lose. If you watch them standing up, no doubt about it, Daniel Cormier would have got knocked out if he had to get it on the ground, and he did. And that's why, and to me, I'm not a fan of that, but it works. He's won every fight except for the Bones fight. I mean, I don't see Brock Lesnar's an accomplished wrestler, but he's not Cormier. Cormier is a way better wrestler in my book. I think Cormier would mop the floor with him. I think it would be a little bit better on the ground and pound because Derek Lewis can't. Derek Lewis cannot. He can't ground and pound. He has to be standing up.
So to circle back though, to what we're talking about with Dana White having a lot to lose, do remember that he does like money a little bit because CM Punk was in the UFC when he had no business being there.
That was a joke. Yeah, that was. So maybe
So Dana White knows what sells.
If the money's right, he might do it.
I mean, that's why CM Punk kept being there.
I just can't believe, man. Brock's agent, great, good for him. Good move. No one's ever had a crossover like that. Like, oh yeah, WWE and UFC. It's either one or the other.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar. We've already seen him a couple years ago do the crossover, be in one and then be in the other, like the next night. That's awesome. And that's what I like about Brock Lesnar. That is why I like Brock Lesnar as champion, because I like that he brings over this other element. Braun Strowman doesn't bring it over. Roman Reigns doesn't bring it over. Nobody brings it over. He brings over this other element to the championship that I know a lot of people say that it's not special, that it doesn't bring that big fight feel, but it still does to me.
It doesn't with me. It doesn't. Brock just doesn't do it for me. I don't like a guy that's only there so often. There's only so much you can do at that point. Like, you're hyping it up for what, 3 times between now and the WrestleMania? Maybe he shows up 5 times. I don't know. But either way, it's not that many times. He shows up once a month. I don't like it. I think it's a disservice to all the hard working, men and women in WWE that bust their ass. They're on the road.
Yeah, but they make money.
They don't make Brock Lesnar money, though. Brock Lesnar makes a lot of money for what he does.
Yeah, well, a whole baseball team doesn't make Alex Rodriguez money.
That's different, though. Brock Lesnar, he shows up when he wants to. A-Rod played every game. Not whole 162, but he played the majority of the games when he wasn't injured.
Yeah.
So that's where the difference is. I get, because Brock Lesnar is an attraction. I get it. But guys like Dolph Ziggler, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, these guys deserve the championships more. And I mean, now Drew McIntyre, as we saw.
It doesn't hurt them. They're not. I always look at it like this: if they're not giving the money to Brock Lesnar, they're not giving the money to the everyday wrestlers.
Well, what they should do?
They're not taking it literally out of their pockets.
As Jared would say, put it on pyro. Make a nice pyro budget.
Well, yeah, but again, we saw without Brock Lesnar around, they're still not spending it on pyro.
Well, except at the Crown Jewel, everything was pyro there.
Well, I mean, these events they're
special.
Different. They're special.
Yeah, they're special,
which is kind of strange because they treat him special.
And it wasn't that special an event.
But then, they don't treat Survivor Series special.
Yeah, Survivor Series is special in my book. It's one of my favorites.
Are you a fan? You are a fan of Survivor Series, and
I love it.
I can't get this meaningless pay-per-view with nothing on the line for the whole night.
I like it because it's like brand versus brand. Team versus team. I like that. It's because I'm a sports guy. I like
that.
Was
cool in the 80s though, when that was unique. It's not unique really anymore.
It's even though it's not unique, it's still fun to see. Like, you put on a show between a couple top tier guys from one team to on SmackDown and one on the team on Raw. I like it. I mean, I think it's fun. I think it's a change. It's a change of pace because you're not seeing that on every pay-per-view.
Yeah, no, I get it.
That's why I like it, because it's different. Yes, I know it doesn't have the the uniqueness of what it used to be back years ago.
Yeah, because back in the day there wasn't Monday Night Raw every single week with tag team matches left and right.
But the difference is it's not like it's it's not Usos versus NXT jobbers type of thing. Like something like that. That's what a lot of tag matches have been.
Teaming up with the New Day.
That'll be. I mean, I don't like the New Day, but it's still. I mean,
what's with everybody getting along on SmackDown until the end there? Daniel Bryan ruining it.
I know. Yeah, everybody. Hugging.
I actually enjoyed that. I liked the Daniel Bryan, Miz getting along, recruiting Shane McMahon for the team.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. I
thought it was different.
Here's my take on that. I think this whole Daniel Bryan Miz thing. I think it's gonna turn Miz into a face. That's where I think
you think it's going to turn Daniel Bryan into a heel?
Can Daniel Bryan really be a heel?
It's tough.
I mean, I could see it. Just the way things were kind of playing out on SmackDown. I will say this: the last time the Miz was a face, it didn't really work out well. But I think it was because Miz was still learning the business.
When was he a face?
Years ago.
The Hoorah days?
I guess.
Yeah, that was not even the same Miz we have now.
Yeah, I mean, I say I guess because he
was kind of a face at WrestleMania a few years ago against John Cena.
No, John Cena's always.
But he was quite popular when he was doing the John Cena gimmick.
But Miz has been the most productive, and I would say most popular when he's a heel. When he plays that guy that's just like, I'm the A-lister, I'm better than everybody else. Like that's Miz.
Yeah.
So I think the face thing could work as long as he's booked right. I think if they do it the right way, the creative does, I think that's fine. I just wonder, does Daniel Bryan can he really be a heel? That would be something cool to see from the creative side.
Well, we saw him as a heel originally, remember?
Who?
We lost to Sheamus at WrestleMania 28 in
Who,
40
Daniel?
seconds. Yeah.
I don't really consider that.
When he was with AJ. He was World Heavyweight Champion of SmackDown. Remember? No.
I didn't really consider that a heel, though. Did you?
Yeah.
He chanted yes, and the crowd chanted no. That was your shtick, though. It's just like it's like Kurt Angle. Like when people cheer, "You suck." Like that's
Yeah, but he wasn't that. But when people chanted Kurt Angle, "You suck," then he was a heel.
well, yeah, he sucked.
But what I'm saying is, it's different now. Obviously, it'd be different now. When he was teaming up, maybe not so much with Kane, but when he was
I wouldn't
with
say they were-
AJ Lee, and he was heavyweight champion,
He wasn't-
and he ran out to the ring, and Sheamus knocked him out with the money. Was Sheamus cashed it in? No, Sheamus.
See, I don't really. That wasn't that long of a run, though. I didn't really.
I didn't
think.
think it was that long of a run, but either way,
I don't-
Sheamus
that-
knocked
that-
him out in like
that
35
must- that-
seconds
I
and
mean-
won the world heavyweight belt.
If you consider that a heel run, that's a very short heel run. I mean, here's the thing. Daniel Bryan, for what, 98% of his career has been a face.
Yes,
And Miz,
Miz for 98% of his career has been a heel.
yeah. I just want to. I'm kind of like, I've been thinking about it, just watching how things have kind of unraveled. I kind of think that what they're going to do is flip flop. I think they're going to flip flop it. To be absolutely honest with you, I hope they do.
What do you make of the Shane McMahon winning this World Cup? I thought that was ridiculous.
Yeah, that was dumb. That was dumb. I didn't like it at all.
No.
I think it was just it was an easy out. So if Miz lost, he didn't have now he has to go to Raw, because that's what the stipulation was if he lost. So what would have happened if Shane lost? Does that mean Miz leaves? I don't think so, because it's not like Miz got pinned or submitted.
I just think it was ridiculous in general to have this tournament, and then to be
That's
honest with
how
you,
it ends.
what a surprise finals. I would not have picked that.
Yeah,
All the matches were very surprising. The Miz advancing, Dolph Ziggler advancing,
Yeah.
Kurt Angle getting knocked down the first round.
Well, here's what I'll say, and maybe you agree with me on this, maybe you don't. Kurt Angle is not. I mean, Kurt Angle can't go anymore. Did you see that match last
Yeah.
night, on Monday night?
Triple H is showing that he can't really go anymore, at least with him and Shawn Michaels.
Yeah. What was the? I know he got injured. What did he hurt again?
It was the arm muscle.
That's right. Because I saw him.
He just had successful surgery yesterday.
Yeah, it's fine. He'll be back at his day job soon enough,
But I mean,
or night job.
isn't that
whatever you wanna
sad though? I mean, these guys, everyone's saying like, can they still go? And then they go and they get hurt,
call it.
tear something.
I mean, Kurt Angle looked like he was uncomfortable the whole time. Last night, especially last night.
What are they? Almost pushing 50?
Well, Kurt Angle's he's like 50 years old. I mean, he won the Olympics in 1996
Yeah, that's 22 years ago.
with a broken freaking neck. We can't forget that.
So
But
if he was 22 years ago, just snowballing it here without even looking it up. I mean, if he was 22,
that's 42.
22 years ago,
That's
that's 42. I think it was actually older than that.
No, 22. Wait, we are not good at math. 22 and 22, 44.
Yeah.
We're not good at math here apparently.
And I feel like he's older than that.
I think he's almost 50.
Yeah.
I think he's late 40s, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what he is. I know Triple H will be 50 this coming year, because I know I remember, because I remember I saw something on, I think it was on social media somewhere, but I think he'll be 50 this coming year, and the HBK obviously is. But what do you? Let me ask you this: watching Crown Jewel, do you think HBK can? I mean, he's not going to make a massive run. Do you think he can still go a little bit?
I think they'll make him go. I think they're going to put him against AJ Styles or something at WrestleMania, and I think that's kind of a waste of an AJ Styles.
Speaking of,
I'd rather see him go against another person who can't go as just a gimmick than waste a really good talent.
Speaking of waste, I mean, I have to tell you, watching CN and Ray on SmackDown, that was a great match.
I mean, Rey Mysterio can still go.
He can still go. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I hope there's more of a rivalry between those two. I enjoyed that. That was a great match. Ray can definitely still go, and then CN, he's good. He's good. I'm wondering what they're going to do with those guys. I hope there's a feud between those two, because of the whole lucha thing. I'm hoping there's something that, maybe hopefully it's just not a match they just put together. I hope it's like they build it up with a storyline and make it into, like, maybe they could make that into a WrestleMania kind of match. Because those two,
Well, they have like the heritage.
yeah, they
Kind
have
of like Alberto Del Rio.
they have the whole lucha.
Yeah.
I think that would be sweet. Watching that match, I thought it was great. The only thing I didn't like about it is I feel like they just wasted it. They just kind of threw it together. That's kind of a match you want to build up and hype up, where you can really cash in on it. It was a great show for the fans in England.
Are we going to finally see them do something? So, strange enough, I was watching Monday Night Raw, and after the Elias match, his music hit, and I want to say that might be the first time ever I've heard his music. I didn't know what his music was.
Oh, I knew
because
it was.
obviously he never comes out to it. He's already out in the ring.
Yeah, I've heard it. I mean, you hear it when like he leaves the ring sometimes.
Normally when he leaves the ring, he's the loser. So
Yeah, but I've seen him win matches, and it was
rare.
and he
Rare that he's in a match like he was on Monday night.
Yeah, well, what does that tell you? That tells me that Elias is getting a push.
And I hope so.
I think he's going to get a push. Now, something else I want to point out. It was, kind of the big moment out, moving to SmackDown. I am so happy she finally is on SmackDown.
Talking about Sanity.
Yes. Well, Sanity, yeah. Sanity is back. We talked about that, a few weeks back, that, like, where the hell are they? Now I know what they're waiting for. They're waiting for Nikki Cross. She's nuts. She's the twisted sister, so to speak. It was great. She put on it. Her gimmick is absolutely awesome. I love her character. She is fantastic. She fits so well with that Sanity, stable, that group there. I loved it, and I thought it was a good match. I watched that match with Becky. I thought it was good. I think Nikki Cross, and I'm high on Nikki Cross. I've been a big fan of hers since I've seen her on NXT. She's got potential to be one of the great, I would say, great female superstars going forward. I think she's going to be up there for a while. I think she's going to be a
You're
contender.
excited for Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey?
I am, but I'm not, because Ronda's going to win. I don't see Becky winning. Obviously we'll get to that.
Maybe
more.
though. You got to take Ronda down a peg.
I don't think they will, though. I don't think they're going to. I think they're going to wait.
In order, if she's going to be a legitimate WWE wrestler, you got to have her. You can't just have her on this undefeated, always treat her like a celebrity. She's going to be here full time. She's got to absorb some bumps.
I think she loses at WrestleMania. I don't think she loses until then.
I feel, I'm going to, a precursor to next week, I'm going to take Becky Lynch.
Okay.
Just because I feel like Becky Lynch to me personally is the first competitor she's had.
I wouldn't say that.
Nia Jax.
Yeah, Nia Jax. She has her skill set. Yeah, I would say she's pretty legit. Alexa Bliss is Alexa
Wasn't Nikki
Bliss.
Bella.
Well,
Yeah, it wasn't Alexa Bliss.
No,
So I feel like this is the most legitimate shot for her to lose, and they're not going to give her the Asuka treatment. And she's not Brock Lesnar. She's not showing up every so often. She wants to be there full time. So you got to give her some losses to redeem herself, to be a part of the storyline.
Here's what I would say, and I'm going on the record. You can hold it to me. Hold it to me on this one. She's not losing until WrestleMania, Ronda. I don't see it.
Well, we'll find out next week. We'll talk Survivor Series next week. And that's going to do it for this week's edition of the show. Wrapped up Crown Jewel. What's your overall rating of Crown Jewel?
C+. It was okay. I like the.
I like it better than Greatest Royal Rumble. I'll say that much. I like it better than Greatest Royal Rumble because I feel like they didn't diminish anything after I was watching. And I didn't feel like they just took existing storylines.
I wasn't big on the pay-per-view. I
liked it.
Okay.
It was short.
It was okay.
To the point.
I enjoyed Evolution better.
It's a good question. Maybe that'll be our Twitter question of the week. Which did you enjoy better, Crown Jewel or Evolution?
I think we'll save that for next week's Twitter question of the week.
We'll put that for next week's Twitter question of the week. For Icebreaker21 on Twitter, myself at KRockJared, and most importantly, follow the program. Add Heel to the Face. We could always use more followers. Hey, if you're interested, maybe we'll follow you back. Until next week, we'll see you then.